What's going on, guys? So it's been a few days since I made a video. There's been a lot of talk going back and forth about the fact that I sold my Ram 5500, that I sold my trailer, guys. Yes, if you look back into, I think it was the last video or the video before, I did this little thing where I kind of like brushed off the camera on my shirt, and then I panned up, and then there was a big semi behind me. Yes, guys, that is my brand new semi. I will be doing a walk around on it in a later video, but right now I think I'm in Dunn, North Carolina. We're fueling up. This is my Ram 1500 behind me. We're on our way up to New Jersey because I have a family reunion that goes on every single year. And it's going to be coming up this Saturday. So we're headed up that way. We're going to go have some fun. But listen, I've got my paper here. I want to go over what the miles per gallon was on the Ram 5500. A few guys who I guess were interested in picking it up were asking some questions. They've pretty much all written me separate emails on it, so it's really cool that I was able to actually reach out and talk one-on-one. But I figured I'd go ahead and make a video because as I was trying to get into the 5500 and I was doing my own research, I wasn't able to get really good concrete evidence off of just what I saw, like off of Google search. I had the results in going on Instagram, and I looked at the 4500 hashtags, the 5500, the F450 and 550. I looked at those 4 series and 5 series, and I talked to the guys who are running those specific trucks, whether that be for an ambulance, a dump truck, just pulling it for, you know, their own personal stuff, whatever it might be. They gave me some really good numbers, so I want to go ahead and tell you what my numbers are. Let me go over here and fix my gas pump really quick, and then I'll get into it. So calculating fuel mileage is actually a lot simpler than I had originally thought it was. When I decided to start trying to figure out exactly how many miles per gallon I was really getting on the road, my formula is really simple. What I do is I fill up my tank straight from zero, from whatever. I fill up a whole tank, and then what I do is I drive that tank all the way down or till my next fill up. I look at how many miles I've driven in that time, and I divide that number by how many gallons I then fill up on the other side. So let's say I drive 450 miles, and then on the other side when I fill up 32.4 gallons. I divide those numbers, and that number there that you will get, that is going to be your miles per gallon that you got at the end of the trip. So scenario number 1 here sees us leaving Kernersville, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and I headed over to Jacksonville, North Carolina, and then over to Grifton, North Carolina to go drop off my truck. Now this is before I had anything on the truck. There's no sleeper, no fifth wheel, no extra weight. I'm running with a 52-gallon fuel tank, and that's it. And this is total miles driven, 242 miles, and I used a total of 12.2 gallons in that 242 miles for a total miles per gallon at 19.8 miles per gallon is what I got. And I did roughly 60 miles an hour the whole time on the highway. It wasn't much less than 60 miles an hour because I took the highway pretty much the whole way through. There was a little bit of stop and go in traffic, but that's what I got there. Scenario number 2 is going to be after I picked up my truck from Kernersville, or sorry, not from Kernersville, from Roadmaster over in Grifton, North Carolina. When I picked up the truck, I now have the weight of the sleeper added on there. I also have a 52-gallon stock tank in the rear. Then I have added on a 91-gallon reserve tank for diesel for 142 gallons of diesel fuel, or sorry, 143 gallons. And then I also have a 45-gallon gas tank for the generator. So we've got the sleeper, the fuel, the generator, the AC, the fifth wheel, the weight of everything all together, the extension done to the frame. With that, guys, I drove a total of I drove a total of 1,636 miles. So that's 1636 for the miles. And I used 117.8 gallons of fuel, and at 65 miles per hour, I got roughly 13.88 miles per gallon. So that's what I got there on that number. Now, scenario number 3 here that I have is with an empty trailer. Sorry guys, I got wife and daughter just came out of the bathroom here at Pilot. As you can see, I've changed gas stations. But anyways, so scenario number 3 is going to be with an empty trailer, and this is going from my house down in Boynton Beach, Florida, down in Palm Beach County, and I'm going up to St. Augustine, Florida. I drove a total of 244 miles and I used 21.8 gallons of fuel, and at 70 miles an hour I ended up getting about 11.2 miles per gallon, and that is with a Ram 5500 with a 489 rear, full tanks, everything. AC's catching a little bit of wind, but my trailer did weigh just over 10,000 pounds as well. So just so you can understand exactly where we were and what we were pulling. Next we're gonna do, this is gonna be the 4th and final scenario here. This is going to be my loaded miles from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, driving out to Fallon, Nevada. And I drove a total of 2,318 miles, and I used 294 gallons of fuel. My max mile per hour that I did on that trip all the way out that way was 70 miles per hour. I did not go over 70 miles per hour. I'm very, very strict on how I break my engines in. So 70 miles an hour was the best I did. Guys, keep in mind, my load was a little high, was about 7.5, almost 8 feet tall, and was tarped. So I had that catching wind, plus I'm going through the mountains and stuff. I just want you to keep that in mind as I give you this number, so you understand exactly why. 1, it's kind of low, but 2, it's actually pretty good considering where I was driving and what I was pulling. We're looking at a total of 7.9 miles per gallon, so just under 8 miles per gallon on that whole trip of 2,318 miles driven. So I think that that's a pretty good number when you consider how far I drove and what I was pulling and everything else in there. But I wanted to give you guys that number because I've had a few people ask, and there's a few people who have also asked here on YouTube, over on Instagram, different things, and I wanted to make sure that I get that out to you guys. Although yes, I don't have this vehicle anymore. Hopefully you guys can use this as reference as you're going into I'd say a 5500 with possibly a 489 rear. So I want everybody to understand, you know, basically what I was working with. So you might do a little bit better, you might do a little bit worse. You probably won't do worse because not everybody's going to throw a sleeper on there, add, you know, all the extra weight and fuel tanks and everything. So you'll probably do a little bit better than that, but that will be for your own experience down the road, guys. Keep in mind, I only speak from my own personal experience here, especially in this matter. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. We've got everybody getting back into the truck. It's a little bit after 5:30 right now, and we are just south of the Virginia border. It's like 2.5 miles that way. So yeah, let's get back on the road. Let's get the rest of the way up toward Jersey City, so we can get there tonight and get some rest. We're gonna go do the Statue of Liberty tomorrow, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. Just making sure everything's good in the truck. Wow, that glare sucks. All right, I'll see you guys a little bit later. Bye. Hey guys, did you like that video? If you did, go ahead, hit the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more great content just like this. As for you, I hope you drive safe out there on the roads. My name is Jason, and this has been my Hotshot Life, and I will, as always, see you on the next one.